All right, take a whiff.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That podcast, where we watch the worst movies from trailer and credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
Thank God we're on like distance laptops over.
That's right. Yeah. Take a whiff of this awful movie.
Oh my goodness, I can smell it from here. It's some of the better dialogue.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God. So we're back with our full breakdown of the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 2. This will be Part 1. From
Part 1 and Part 2.
Part 1 and Part 2. Well, why don't you recap us? What's this one about?
Yeah. So the premise here, in case you forgot, after the birth of Renesmee / Nessie.
the nickname?
Get over
you
that.
nicknamed my kid after Loch Ness Mountain? Oh my God.
Yes. Speaking of good dialogue.
Yeah.
So, after the birth of Renesmee / Nessie, the Cullens gather other vampire clans in order to protect the child from a false allegation that puts the family in front of the Volturi.
Classic, right?
Yeah, just a nonsense string of words.
Blah, 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 blah. Movie make money.
Movie make money good.
Movie make real good money. Sell more books, make more money. Yeah. So that's what we're in for. We've done 2 Twilight movies. We did New Moon and we did Breaking Dawn Part 1. Both are under 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. We were doing this one as a special holiday special because
that's right. Happy holidays.
It's a movie that people like that we hate. So yeah, that's it. Expectations from our trailer. I was almost kind of close. At least the fears, the fears of the Volturi were like, this little kid's could kill everyone. I was like, that's what I was kind of hoping for.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't happen.
Well, kind of happened, but then we'll get there.
I hate this. I think this might rank up as like my next new movie that I hate that we've done. Mm-hmm. The ending is so obnoxious.
So obnoxious.
Like if this happened, this must happen in the book. I would have torn the book in half and thrown it out the window. And Stephenie Meyer.
I do have a little bit of a fast fact about that, so okay. I'll do that one later.
All right. Okay. You didn't give him any prognostications because you had seen this already. This is now your 3rd time because you're a big fan. You're a huge fan of Stephenie Meyer in the Twilight series.
Huge Meyer hole.
Meyer hole.
That's what we call ourselves, Stephenie Meyer fans.
Listeners, I don't want to give away because we don't do video here, but he's got posters in the background, the Lautner, Eddie,
that's right, Pattinson,
K-Stew.
I got a Stephenie Meyer tattoo on my neck.
He does. Meyer clan, Myers forever.
Her portrait.
Yeah, her portrait.
That's right. And Poncho.
Yeah, for Poncho, right? Poncho.
Yeah, it's a husband and wife piece.
Yeah, I mean, go all in. Poncho was he's the one who won. He's won. Poncho is the one who took all this.
Yeah, just the best.
We were looking at book stats before we started this, and I almost cried. Unfortunately, this book sold 1.3 million copies in the first 24 hours.
Yep, which is outrageous.
It makes me want to flip over everything here. Like I kind of want to unplug everything and be like, all right, I'm going to go sleep for the rest of my life.
I imagine that makes it probably one of like the fastest selling books of all time, I would think, right?
It's in the top. Yeah, I'm sure in the category. I'm sure Harry Potter's probably crushed a lot of those numbers. And I'm sure.
Good point. Speaking of enemies of the pod, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Stephenie Meyer.
Yeah, just wrap your political views in subtext and themes in your books. And hide it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go on Twitter and say it, you dummy.
No, the books actually are feel good and inclusive generally. Yeah. More or less.
Yeah. Unless you put them under a different lens, you're like, wait a second. Yeah. No.
Yeah. When you start reading between the lines, you're like wait a second. Is this anti-Semitic?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You should put all these wizards in their own little school and they should be separated from everyone else. Oh, whoops.
What's this about mudbloods?
I didn't see that coming, did you?
Yeah. Well, I guess we all should have. Now, at least Stephenie Meyer hasn't done that, right?
She is a Moor man, right?
That's a good point.
You never know what's going to come out of that.
Yeah, Mormons do bad stuff sometimes too.
I think she's done writing. She just wrote these books, and she's like, just let the money roll in.
Yeah.
Someday. Speaking of books, you should go pick up Host, not the Host, but Host.
Yeah, that's right. Don't be confused. Not The Host by Stephanie Meyer. You want Host by Russ Capasso. Wherever you buy books.
Oh my God.
Especially Amazon.
Okay. You want some quick info here?
Please.
Okay, so this is directed by Bill Condon. He is a Twilight. He's our Twilight guy. He did Breaking On Part 1 and Part 2 because they were filmed at the same time.
I was going to say, but he didn't do all of them, right?
No, he didn't. He did.
Okay.
I thought he did New Moon, the other bad one that we did, but maybe not. He did Part 1, Part 2, and that's it. He just did Part 1 and Part 2. So
what a weird career.
Yeah, he's
sad.
Yeah.
Dreamgirls. That's the one that throws me off. I remember last time. I was like, why?
Oh, yeah.
How did you go from Dreamgirls to this?
Yeah. Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. Directed by him. So, writers now.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie Meyer.
Yeah. Please
be done.
Yeah.
And Melissa Rosenberg. Now, Melissa Rosenberg, she was the one who, she's a Twilighter. So she did Twilight, the first one. Okay. She did New Moon, that's what it was. And then she's done Part 1 and Part 2. She did Jessica Jones, though, which I really enjoyed that show. Step Up, that's kind of a hit. A lot of TV early in her career. Dr. Quinn Medicine.
A lot of hit TV, though.
Yeah. Which I'm sure we covered this in our Part 1 of Breaking Dawn, Part 1, right? But
yeah, go listen to that if you haven't.
Dexter, 11 episodes of Dexter, great show. So
yeah, weird. Except for I kept getting ads for the new Dexter show during this movie because I was watching on Hulu with ads.
Yeah.
Who asked for that? Did you? I didn't even know that it was happening.
I did not write in to ask for that. I did not. I mean, I like Dexter, but I'm good. We don't need any more. Leave it alone.
They're doing an origin story for some reason. What? With Christian Slater.
Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Come up with something new.
The little trailer ended with him being like because it's not him because obviously he can't play young himself.
Michael C. Hall there.
Yeah. But he's doing the voiceover for it, so he's like, oh, like they say, your
dark passenger. You find your dark passenger.
Yeah. Want to see mine? You're like, oh,
no,
I don't care.
No. No, your story.
You ruined it.
Yeah. Like what? Anyways, whatever.
Yeah.
So Stephanie and Melissa, those are the two we have to blame for this.
Okay.
But the dialogue, though, apparently a lot of it was lifted from the books, which I've heard the critics of the books have been like, the prose and the writing is actually pretty terrible. It's like the Dan Brown syndrome, where like the books, like the writing is actually terrible, but people love it. It's like,
and I wouldn't put Dan Brown in the same sentence as Stephanie Meyer because even that's better, way better.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. Like I'm trying to remember when the last time I read Da Vinci Code. It was probably 15 years ago. But
I've seen people analyze his work and they're like, it's bad, but she's
readable.
Yeah. It's like in the same category like the 50 Shades of Grey one, where a friend of mine, she'd read it and she was like, these books are absolutely like unreadable. Like they're so like it's so terrible, like so bad.
Yeah, Thais said that the script of the movie is actually a little bit better than some of the dialogue in the book. So like Melissa Rosenberg may be doing some heavy lifting here.
I think she cleaned it up. I think she definitely did. So
yeah.
I mean, she knows what she's doing.
Hero of the movie, Melissa Rosenberg?
I think so. Yeah. All right, so who's in this? Everyone's in this movie.
That's right.
I'm just going with the big hits, though. Kristen Stewart plays Bella. Robert Pattinson plays Edward Cullen. Taylor Lautner's back. Our boy Jacob is the wolf boy. Michael Sheen plays Aro / the Volturi big boss guy.
Michael Sheen, that's who that is.
Yeah. No relation to Charlie.
Why do I know this guy?
Yeah. Maggie Grace is Irina. Ashley Greene plays Alice. And Peter Fasinelli is Carlisle. Mackenzie Foy is Nessie / the older version, which...
Wait, is she credited as Nessie?
I think I just wrote that. I had the Rims.
Okay.
What's the Rims? What's
Renesmee.
Yeah.
I would love it if they credited her as Nessie. That would be pretty funny.
That would be very funny. She plays the grown-up version, which I have a whole thing about that.
No. Okay.
No, like the CG baby thing.
Oh my God, it's so upsetting.
Why?
I don't know. It's awesome. And this one came out in 2012, right? Like we had the technology.
Yeah, the technology was there in 2012. Like
incredible.
And this movie had like a crazy budget. Like, let's see, big blockbuster movies that came out. You know what? I don't even care.
Like Iron Man came out like years before this.
Iron Man came out in 2008. Yeah. So
I was gonna say like at least 4 years before this. Yeah.
Yeah. 2012, the MCU was cranking.
Full swing. So many good special effects.
So much better. And this movie. Okay. Anyways, let's see who was it. Dakota Fanning plays Jane. She's on the Volturi side there. Rami Malek is Benjamin. Lee Pace is Garrett. And Skipper Landry plays a Russian peasant.
Nice. Cool name, Skipper.
Yeah. So, numbers this made. Oh my God. I hate all these big numbers. $829,724,737.
Almost a billy. That's 263,000 and change fanatics.
Oh, that's too much.
Outrageous.
Domestic did about 300 million. Internationally did 537 million. Video did another 103 million.
You gotta own it.
On a budget of $136,200,000. So,
yeah, wildly profitable.
Yes.
Great work.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
It's what saved Lionsgate. Probably.
Yes.
Probably, actually.
Probably. Yeah. Probably. Keeps them afloat.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, 49% from the critics and 70% from the audience. You. God damn you.
Like, why did half of critics think this was good?
That's a good point.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't track either. Like, it's not good. The dialogue's terrible. Like, the plotting's terrible. The pacing's terrible. Like, the CG looks so bad. Like, bad. So bad.
Is it Christmas Eve today when this episode comes out?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas if you celebrate, listeners. Happy holidays otherwise. But, like, screw you all. You're part of the problem. You probably like this movie.
Yeah. 2012. All right, I'll give you a little cap here. The top movies that came out in 2012. The Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012.
Oh, such good CGI.
Skyfall, number 3. Life of Pi, Django Unchained, Argo, The Hobbit, Unexpected Journey, Lincoln, The Master, Frankenweenie.
I'm not familiar with Frankenweenie.
Looper, that was a great one. Yeah.
Les Miserables?
Yep, Les Miserables. The Avengers.
And The Avengers.
The Avengers came out in 2012, and that looks 1,000 times better than this.
What were they? The Hunger Games? Such good CGI in The Hunger Games. Like, what happened? Why would you do this?
I don't know. So,
because you're right, it's a combination of like Flat Stanley, like over the environment, and then CGI monster baby.
It's like, why? Why are you doing this? Why would you do this?
We have the technology.
We have the budget, $136 million. What are you spending that on?
Yeah, like Avengers budget was probably like $200 million.
It's probably most of at this point. All these kid actors are like huge, and they're all them probably complaining for more money, and they're like brooding and being like, so. I can't live my lifestyle without making $20 million a movie.
Yeah, are we blaming Taylor Lautner for this?
Yes, 100%. Yeah,
fair. I respect that.
Yeah. You want some fast facts?
Yeah, fact me, daddy.
All right, let's go. To protect Mackenzie Foy, who plays the oldest version of of Nessie there. This is so dumb. There's so many dumb trivia. I cut so many. So, to protect Mackenzie Foy in the set, Bill Condon, the director here, enemy of the pod, had set up a swear jar where any cast and crew members caught swearing or uttering profanities were fined on the spot. The amount collected from the jar was donated to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Next.
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of St. Jude's Children's Hospital, so I'm glad there was a positive ending to this.
Yes. Yeah. What I'm not a fan of is stupid trivia put on the internet.
Yeah. They're like, well, we only made $600 million from the movie. At least we donated $25 to St. Jude's.
25, yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. They can get that as like their tax credit on the line at the bottom of the film.
Like drop a nickel in the swear jar.
Nice job, guys. Nice job. Yeah. Good donation.
Good job.
Yeah. You know what would have been nice to add on to that was like, all the cast members who just made their big payday also donated $1 million each because they could.
Sure. Yeah.
You fucking assholes. No. All right. So besides Mackenzie Foy, 10 actresses portrayed the rapidly growing Renesmee Cullen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they did this. And as well as a CGI animated baby. Why?
But you don't want to pay a baby if you're paying 10 other actresses.
Right. Like what? When I saw the baby's face, I was like, what's going on right now? Why did they do this?
Yeah, it's like like listeners, like stop, like pause the podcast if you're listening right now and go. If you haven't seen this movie, look up a quick pic of the baby because
it's terrifying,
nightmare inducing.
Nightmare inducing, and it's like, but why would you choose to do this, Bill?
I don't know.
Like, what's going through your mind?
It's 2012.
It's 2012, and you're not even. What's the point of doing a CGI face? It's not like it looks. Just
make it a baby.
Just make it a baby
because like they couldn't make the baby like the baby is like has to like look at her and like touch her face and shit, and you're like, okay.
There's camera tricks you can do for this.
Totally.
There's stuff you can do. You know, this is
put something shiny there. Like babies are stupid.
They love tennis balls. Just put that behind the actor's head.
Yes.
I'm continuing on with the baby thing because the baby thing drove me nuts right off the bat. I was like, I hate this. So there's two major things I hate in this movie. It's the end and this. So you ready for this shit? You ready for this one too?
Please.
Both an animatronic baby and a 3-week-old babies were used in the film. Kristen's, this is such a dumb
An animatronic baby? Why did they waste money on that?
Because they had the budget for it?
Damn it.
Kristen Stewart preferred working with the real babies because she felt they helped her give a better performance. Yeah, no shit.
What?
so stupid.
Oh, this was when Kristen Stewart decided she was an actor. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, right.
It is definitely her best performance out of all the Twilight movies.
Sure.
I'll say that.
I'll give it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
Because at the beginning, she is a bad actor.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of brooding and a lot of... Animatronic baby. Why? They probably spent $10 million on animatronic baby, I bet. Werner Herzog's on the side. Why don't you use the real baby? Remember what he said about that Grogu thing?
Yes.
Don't be coward.
Bring
me child. Use the real baby. Every song that appears in the film and on the soundtrack is original and written specifically for the film. That's cool, I guess.
Even the Green Day one at the end?
Yeah, probably.
Gross.
I don't know.
I guess this is peak Green Day sellout period.
Yeah, punk rock. Whatever. Yeah, sell at some point, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Sticking it to the man by taking their money, right?
Yeah, I'm glad those guys are rich.
So proud of them. So happy for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. All right, let's get into the good stuff here. This is the 6th film to receive a nomination in every eligible category at the Golden Raspberry Awards. Now, if you don't know what those are, that means bad. To sum it up. After The Lonely Lady from 1983, Color of Night 1994, Showgirls 1995, classic. Wow. Was it Geely? Jiggly?
Yeah, Geely, I think. What a nightmare movie that was.
2003, and Jack and Jill in 2011. So
okay, great.
That's a Sandler movie, isn't it? Jack and Jill, when he plays both parts. Yeah,
when he plays his sister and himself. Yep, that's right.
Oh my god! Highest. Okay. It's the highest grossing film to win the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Picture.
That makes sense.
Surpassing Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen in 2009.
And that's not even that bad, I don't think.
No, I mean, it's bad. I rewatched it recently.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
I put it on at the brewery because I was like, yeah, let's do a Transformers thing. And I put it on. I was like, this movie's bad, but this movie's worse.
Yeah, way worse. That movie's watchable at least.
Yeah, the CG. I'm curious what the budget is. I don't know if you have time to look that up for Revenge of the Fallen, but the budget on that, it came out in 2009. Let's put that in perspective, right?
Yeah,
2009 Revenge of the Fallen. What the budget on that was versus this,
$200 million,
and this is 136 million.
Yeah,
70 million gets you better looking robots.
70 million gets you apparently
Michael Bay. Wait, imagine if Michael Bay directed Twilight. Such a better.
That would have been cool. Yeah, I would have liked that. I think
I would have too. Speaking of awesome paydays, decoding. I'm just combining her full
decoding.
Name. Yeah, decoding. She's decoding. Dakota Fanning.
Decoding Fanning. Biopic. Biopic title. Decoding Fanning.
Decoding. There you go.
Incredible.
Done it. Give us a call. Dakota Fanning has only one word in the movie. She just says pain.
Yeah, so funny.
That's awesome. Good
Tice
for her.
pointed that out in the movie while we're watching it too. Was like, oh, I think that's the only line. I was like, oh,
That's good for her. That's awesome.
Nice.
Good for you. Get paid. Get paid. 2025. Get paid, right?
paid. Yeah.
She was doing 2025 stuff, Pillars, back in 2012.
Yeah, she's like just a quarter mil, just a quick quarter mil,
Quarter mil.
just to get me through the day. And they were
Yeah.
like,
Here you go.
one word.
Pain.
Okay.
The most expensive word ever. Last one I've got. The film's final word is forever, which in the end credits is featured on the page of a book. I'm assuming the book.
The book. Yeah, that's right.
This is also the final word in the novel itself, though not as dialogue.
Yep.
That's
Gross.
it. That's where I'm leaving that. Do you have extra fast facts over there?
I had a couple of quick ones. Yeah. So one that I thought was hilarious. So this movie originally was rated R. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Did you come across that one in your research? Okay.
No.
So apparently MPAA was like, we can't show this movie.
Because all
and they
the
rated
heads.
R. Because apparently they had like really gross sound effects when they were doing the
heads.
vampire decapitations.
Oh, the best part of the entire movie, the entire series.
Yep, so funny. And so it was like just like the sound, I guess, is what the board was really complaining about. And so they like toned it way down. And like,
MPA,
I
you're
don't
so
think there's any
stupid.
sound.
MPA, you're stupid. You're dumb.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, less bone crunching while you
Yeah.
pull off somebody's head.
What? But the actual
So funny.
the pulling of the head off is fine. But it's just it's the sound.
It's the sound. Yeah, that gets you.
Makes it visceral.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So they went back and edited it to get the PG-13.
Oh my god, I hate everything
Which is-
about this.
Amazing.
She sold 1.3 million copies in one day, 24 hours. Are you kidding me? I'm still
Yeah.
stuck in that. I hate this.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And the only other thing was, or the biggest thing was that Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, because they were dating through most of the series.
Yes. Yep.
And then they broke up shortly before this. So
I
like
remember
that must have been awkward. And Kristen Stewart like cheated on him with the director of a different movie, and it's a whole thing.
that. Yeah. Wasn't she like
really
kind of
messy.
young and he was old or something like that? The director.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Creepy.
Yep.
No, it's just what
Gross.
happens, sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, just what happens sometimes.
Sometimes you just gotta go, I guess, a bit younger. Okay. Is that it?
I wasn't even gonna go there.
Anything else? You have anything else?
Yeah, last bony little fact there. So the fight scene in the movie, like the only good part of the movie, in the book, also is like a vision. Because spoilers for the end of this, turns out it's a vision and not really happening. In the book, it's like very explicit that this is just a vision and none of it actually happens in the book.
Yeah.
And so like apparently when Tice went and like saw like the midnight showing of this movie when it came out, because Tice is a big fan. And apparently people lost their fucking minds
Really?
in the movie, because they were all like as soon as what's his face Carlisle gets his head popped off, they're like, I was like, this can't be happening.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Yes, and they did the whole it's like a 10-minute scene.
Yeah. It's an Avengers fight scene.
yeah, that gets erased. But everyone in the theater was apparently losing their shit, and like all the fans were really upset about it. They were like, why would you make it like this?
Oh, that's fantastic. And I wish they actually had some balls and like stuck with it and were like, yeah, this is how it ends.
Because the end of the book is even more boring, because it's just like, well,
them
that's
talking,
vision,
right?
and then they're like, okay, let's all go home.
700 pages. That book's 700 pages. What is happening? What's going on?
How do you write so many pages of bad?
like garbage? Like what? I'm sorry.
Incredible.
I guess whatever. You sold millions of copies, so I guess hey, you did it. You did it right.
Yeah, I applaud you for your efforts.
Stephanie Meyer. Well done. Well done. You fooled everyone. You got everyone.
Incredible.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Anyway, that was it. Thank you for reminding me about the scene at the end.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, in the book, it's like very explicit that this is not happening.
That was like the most anger-inducing part of this whole movie for me. I got to the end because I remember I was texting. I was like, "Oh man, all this head popping, this is awesome!" And then I texted
So
like 10
fun.
minutes later. I was like, "Fuck this movie!" It's literally equivalent to like it was all a dream. I'm like, because
That's right.
literally was all a vision. Like, oh
Yep.
my god, nothing matters. You just wasted 2 hours of my life, even more than I thought you already were going to.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, they literally are just like, all right, well, everyone go home.
As someone who didn't read the books, I like watching this movie. I got to that point. I was like, this is worth it right here. Are you kidding me? This is awesome. This is awesome. I was like, this movie has totally redeemed itself.
Yeah. Kill like half the main characters. You know?
This is great. Let's go. And then they wiped it all away.
Yep. Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Okay. Well, we got some ameliorating to do, but we'll get there. Okay. Do you wanna Hollywood pitch me? Motherfucker.
I sure do. So this movie is very obvious. 2 real long titles.
Yeah.
It's clearly A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child.
Because it's a nightmare for us to be watching.
That's right. Yeah, quick pitch.
Yeah.
Meets Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny. Have you seen all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, or did you skip around a little bit?
I can't remember. I feel like I've seen what number is Dream Child?
One.
Okay, I was just gonna say, is that the 5th one? I don't think I made it that far. I think I got through like the first 2.
Right. Yeah, because they get worse. So that's one of the reasons why it's like this movie. They get stupider and more ridiculous as they go on. Unlike this movie, the Dream Child has like that blue tint, that Twilight blue tint all over the movie.
Yep. Okay.
Which this is one of the first Twilights that doesn't have that. I think maybe it was breaking down, or we can't remember what we established. Thais was telling us right before we recorded, and I immediately forgot. But it's like the third or 4th movie where they finally ditched the blue filter.
Yeah.
Also lots of like, is this a dream or is this reality? Because it's a Freddy Krueger movie. And so naturally,
I like that connection. That's good. Well done.
A lot of that, dude. It gets even more pullier because so if you didn't see 5,
maximum
the
pull
Dream
right now?
Child, maximum pull.
Let's go.
The Dream Child, the titular Dream Child is named Jacob and is like a weird like hybrid like dream child, like maybe Freddy Krueger's kid like impregnated the woman from Nightmare on Elm Street 4. It's like a weird, it's like a really weird thing. And then the baby like grows really quickly.
Fast.
Like it's basically the same movie.
Yeah, that's right. Dream Child, right?
The Dream Child. And then there was something else.
I did see this movie actually.
Right?
I might have seen this one. Yeah. Okay.
It's basically the same thing. There's also like a pretty like a decent battle that's like at the end. It's like kind of a dream. I mean, it's a dream battle because they all are.
All dreams. All dreams are battles.
This movie. Yep.
Even the ones we have in real life.
That's right. And then at the end, because it's a Freddy Krueger movie, they like obviously kind of like wink and nod, like they're having like a little family picnic.
Yep.
Just like this one, where they're having a little family picnic at the end.
Yep.
And they do like a little wink and nod to the future, to the past. And they're like, oh, yeah, like, remember all those other times that Freddy Krueger murdered all our friends? And then they're like, maybe he'll be back. And this one, they do the same thing, where they like literally show flashbacks for 5 minutes of the first 6 movies or whatever.
Oh, my God.
And then they're like, oh, but maybe Renesmee will go on, and maybe there'll be something else.
Maybe more. I don't know. Maybe we'll write another book. Maybe we'll just continue the lore. Okay.
Hate it.
I like that.
So that's that one. Meets Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny.
I love it.
This one's a little bit more of a stretch.
Stretch it, baby.
One of the big ones for me. No stakes in this movie. Like they kind of just like build it up and then erase it. They're like, oh, well, the Italians are going to come kill us all. And you're like,
classic.
Are they?
Are they though?
Classic Italians.
Classic Italians.
If there's one thing we know, they don't successcally do that ever, really.
Oh, no. History will show.
That's right. Just like in this movie. And in The Pick of Destiny, I don't know if did you see Pick of Destiny?
Yeah.
So the basic premise of that one, other than like becoming the greatest rock band in the world, is they're trying to pay the rent.
Right.
So the stakes are paying the rent.
That's the motivation for pretty much every band.
Yes.
Pay rent and buy booze.
Yeah. I think it's the same plot as School of Rock, actually, too.
Probably.
Starts off as him like getting a job to pay the rent. So anyway, that's one of them. No stakes, real stupid.
Yep.
They like make various deals with the devil in Pick of Destiny to become a better rock band, then to make him pay the rent ultimately. In this one, they also like make deals with the devil constantly, and it also is like just as silly where they're like,
yeah,
but what if we hide the kid? And they're like, yeah, okay, checks out. Want us to pay your rent? And I wanted more magic. So like they have powers and stuff in this movie that they don't really do in the rest of the movie, but like not enough magical happenings. Like I wanted Satan to appear and like have there be some kind of like whimsical like the battle scene at the end is not whimsical either. It's like they're popping off heads and stuff. It's funny, but it's not like exciting.
No.
No. So anyway, that was my wishful thinking part. I wanted more sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and what I got was CGI baby monster.
Animatronic CGI baby human monster thing.
That's right. I think that's it. What do you got?
I love that. I think that's good. I'm going with. I'm going a little more on the safer side here, but because we got to do that, right? Someone's got to balance this out here. Sometimes you just do it. I'm going with it's Romeo plus Juliet meets X-Men Last Stand.
Well, two of my favorite movies,
right? I'm going real simple here with this one. So Romeo and Juliet, you get we get the cross lovers here, right? We get the families getting involved. We got battle between families, same kind of concept there, right?
Stephenie Meyer, famously inspired by Shakespeare and Jane Austen.
That was the other connection. Boom. X-Men Last Stand. That's it. That's all I'm doing for that one. It's keeping it real simple. I'm not doing other.
Fair enough.
Yeah. This isn't journalism.
Young actors who like become much bigger stars later, inexplicably.
That's pretty
due to
good.
all the bad acting.
That's right. Somehow.
Yep.
It's funny to see the three of them, Taylor Lautner, Kay Stu, and Robert Pattinson, like in these movies, not really showcasing their skills all that much. Taylor Lautner is definitely like a piece of cardboard, just like. Yep. And Kristen Stewart, you're like, she's definitely better in this movie than she was in the previous ones. Agreed. And
started as cardboard.
Robert Pattinson, started as cardboard, turned into like a 3D box. and then Robert Pattinson kind of was just floated through. But now Robert Pattinson's like good, like indie flicks, and he's the Batman.
He's Batman.
He's the Batman, And
the Batman. That's right.
In Case too, she's doing all these independent movies too that are really good. So
yeah, she turned into a good actor.
Yeah, and Taylor Lautner, still a piece of cardboard. Sorry, bud. But hey, he's making money. He's making money.
Rich piece of cardboard.
Yeah, pillar number 1, 2025. Make money.
A rich, handsome piece of cardboard.
I would take that in a heartbeat. So, so meets X-Men Last Stand. Definitely the worst of the X-Men movies.
That's right.
I vaguely remember bad CG. Big battle between two sides. We get that going on here.
Yep.
Bunch of powers being used, right?
Yep.
X-Men capabilities and powers. Fight for alliances, which we got going on in this movie. I mentioned the worst of the movies too. Yep. Just a bad movie. Yeah. What else I got in there? I think that's it. I feel like
who do you think the most famous actor in Twilight is?
Right now?
Is it Dakota Fanning? I think it's Dakota Fanning. Like in this one when it came out. Like I guess probably
at the time?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think Kristen Stewart and Pattinson probably at that point.
I guess so, probably at that point.
Right.
I was going to say that could be a connection when you put Ryan Reynolds in Last Stand and don't give him any lines. That's really, right. And you can put Dakota Fanning in this movie and give her one word. Silly.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Absolutely silly. Oh my god, Jesus. And I think that's it. That's it for me. I think I feel good with that. I'm keeping it simple, straightforward. So
great pitch.
All right, you ready to dive into this mess?
Am I ever?
All right, let's do it.
I was born to be a vampire. I mean, born to watch this movie.
Born to watch this movie and didn't talk about it. Summit Entertainment, Lionsgate Company. They're kings of the world.
Yeah, that's right.
We got a very long opening credits. Holy smokes. Very long opening credits. But it's just beautiful shots of the Pacific Northwest, I believe, right? Snowy count of covered mountains. We get names, and it's like cutting back and forth between white and then red. And
yeah. Well, which is it's the transformation of Bella of its own thing, which is
yeah.
I was like, Titus was trying to explain it to me, and I was like, I don't
It's not.
This.
Yeah.
3 whole minutes of credits.
Woods, waterfalls, classical music. We're getting there. Title card, Breaking Dawn Part 2. Let's go. Right?
Yeah. And your eyes are open and red now. Yes, like a vampire.
Like a vampire. Okay. And this is like the Vampire HQ. I'm going to call it that.
Yeah.
This is where they all
Carlisle's house.
Yeah, they all meet up every once in a while to like regroup. Like majority of this movie is just in the woods. So I don't know why it cost them $136 million, but yeah, they're just in the woods.
I think you're right. Kristen Stewart probably demanded like $20 million.
Probably. Oh, you know what? I vaguely remember. This might have been a thing. I vaguely remember them all having this big contract thing going on about this. I feel like this was a thing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe if you're off to the side there and you got a second, but
yeah.
I feel like there was a bit. I remember this, right? Because wasn't like Pattinson or Lautner like making a ton of money, and Kristen Stewart wasn't, or they all like complained about how they weren't making. I actually think I was right when I was jokingly saying like, we're not making enough money for our lifestyles. I think this is a big deal because they didn't do the smart thing like Marvel did, where they took advantage of all their actors and locked them into a 6-picture deal. I think they locked him in for like the first movie. The first movie was an explosion, and then they got him for like the next couple, like one at a time.
Yep, or
something like that.
Okay, so it was actually the lesser stars.
Oh, really?
Griping about it was Kellan Lutz and Ashley Greene.
Yeah,
wanted $4 million a piece for each movie, each of the Breaking Dawn Part 1.
So if they wanted $4 million each, how much was like Stewart, Pattinson, and Lautner pulling?
So many millions.
Like, let's just say they each pulled $10 million. That's $30 million of your $130 million budget.
Yeah.
No wonder they had a shitty CGI baby.
Yep. Yeah.
It would have been cheap. It would have been cheaper just to have like a real baby, wouldn't it?
It sure would have.
You can train them, give them some treats.
You can pay babies basically nothing,
right?
Just SAG rates.
Someone's got a kid on set. Just bring it on set. What are you gonna do?
Well, SAG minimum for sure, but
yeah. $50 for the day. Stunt baby.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. Okay. So So it wasn't the big stars, but it was like the secondary cast members.
Yeah. The C list. They're all like, wait a second.
Yeah, they're making tens of millions.
Yeah. And Robert Pattinson got $10 million off this one. Why can't I get half of that? You know, like, because you're not in the movie.
Because you're like, you're not important. Do you understand how this works? Like, this is how movies have worked forever.
That's right.
Star cast. It's priority list. Like, you are not a priority.
It's about Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. That's why they get paid more money.
The story's about them, not you. Like, understand your role in the universe.
They each have 50 lines compared to your 4.
Yeah. And one of yours is like, just showing you what's going to happen.
Whoa.
All right. So then we get, we're in the Vampire HQ here, and Bella's like zooming in on things. Like, okay, she's hyper aware of things. That's what I got out of that. And
looking at stuff.
Yeah, looking at stuff. Eddie's there. And they do this weird thing. They zoom in on that ring on her hand. I can't remember the ring on the hand. Was that important? I can't remember.
No, it's just reminding us that they got married recently.
But she's got her big one on her right hand.
Couldn't tell you. Okay. Usually on your left. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was for the. I think actually it was literally for the shot. It was for the shot where they could just have the camera on one side and both their hands had the rings on them, which is
stupid.
I was like, why is it on the right? Why were you looking? Yeah, we know. Okay. Anyways, they nuzzle in. We get a sense of how strong she is too. She pulls him in for a hug and is like, "Get over here, you little brooding vampire." She's like, "Whoa!" Gives him a strong hug.
Yeah, and listeners, to give you an example of the dialogue in this movie, Edward's first line is literally, "We're the same temperature now." I hate it so much. I think I paused it here just because it makes Thais mad when I do it. Like I paused it and I was like, "Are we halfway?"
After those credits, it felt like halfway.
Yes, that's what I said. I've seen this movie several times. God, I hate it.
Oh my God. Anyways, yeah, so they love each other. That's all we get. And then he's like, "Hey, you gotta get your thirst under control, babe. You know."
Yeah, you get vampire baby strength because in case you forgot from the other movies, that's a thing they talk about.
Right. No, you're extensively. Yes. Okay, get your thirst under control, babe. All right, then we cut to the woods, which is we spend 80% of the movie in the woods, and this is
flat standing through the woods.
$136 million. Is this where you spent the money on the CG? Because it doesn't look good. I read there was a trivia where someone outlined how they did this, and I was like, I'm not putting this in there. But the trivia was that that opening scene with her running through the woods wasn't real. I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, it was
What?
it was her on like a treadmill, and then they put her on over a background. I'm like, oh my God.
Really?
I hate this so much. They did.
You telling me that was green screen?
When did Phantom Menace come out? 97?
98, maybe 7.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, because they did 97 was a re-release, right? And then I think
the pod racing looked so cool.
Yeah, like that CG in those movies was still better than this.
That's right.
But I was thinking about the speed moving, because like they do a lot of zipping around the vampires and it's like shoom, 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 shoom. Like they did that better in Phantom Menace, where the Jedi just like fast run. It's like, come on.
They did that better in like A New Hope.
Yeah. I guess when you have ILM in your as your
yeah, go back to the 70s and then the special effects were better.
Yeah. Oh my God. So yeah, it's goofy. And she's seeing everything. She's seeing spiders and flowers and life and nature because she's hyper attuned to it now. She's a vampire, waterfall jumping. There's all stuff from the trailer. Everything from the trailer.
This part made me mad too, because then they stop and like listen. He's like, listen. And I'm like, it's like all loud stuff. I'm like, any human could hear these things. And like it was like an owl going, whoo, whoo. And you're like, okay.
I can hear that.
I was so mad.
I can hear a deer cooing.
Yes.
So then she's like, oh, she spots a deer and she's like, oh, it's feeding time. Let's go. And she breathes it all in, but then she smells something else. And then we cut to a rock climber doing like
some like free solo guy.
Rock climber. It's Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible too.
Yeah.
Hanging off the side of a mountain. Yeah. And he scratches himself and you see like a little blood in his knee or whatever. And she just goes zipping towards him.
Yeah. And everyone's like, no, don't.
Like, why are you even doing this?
I don't know.
She scales the mountain, and this all looks just so bad and so goofy. And she like scales the side of the mountain, and Eddie finds like, hey, whoa, babe. Whoa, babe. You can't be doing this.
Sorry, I didn't realize there'd be people out here. Fair enough.
You couldn't smell them? Like, yeah. So she's like, I gotta get out of here. And she just leaps off the cliff, all from the trailer. And then we get the mountain lion tackle scene, which she just lays out that mountain lion and goes to town. Kills it.
Yeah, and the deer runs away, so we don't really get to see her.
Eats that mountain lion
devour the mountain lion.
Like it's like a blooming onion at that Outback Steakhouse.
Right. Yeah, and then like it's very clear they do this a few times in this movie where they're like, well, I don't know how to cut this, so they just like
back home,
just fade it out. So there's like transition, like the transition's so awkward from like
so awkward.
The deer running, and they're like, okay, well now we're walking back up to the house. And nothing happened.
And this is still stuff from the trailer. Then we get Lautner shows up and he's there and like, whatever. And then this is where he's like,
well, and Bella doesn't know that he imprinted on the baby, and so he's like, she's like, since when do you care about Renesmee? And he's like,
well,
funny
something
story.
About that. Awkward. And then we get the whole thing about taking a whiff, right?
Yeah, because like the listeners, in case you haven't seen the rest of the Twilight series, the whole rest of the series, basically all they do, all the other vampires are like, oh, what stinks? It must be some kind of werewolf.
Yep.
Jacob stinks, and she's like, I can see it now. You stink.
Yeah, you do stink. All right, so then we're inside. We're time to meet the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole family is there, the whole thing there. And I was like, then they show the baby, and I was like, at first I was like, is that a digital baby?
Yep. This is a war crime.
It is. I can't put into words how terrible it looks and how just why.
Yeah, because it doesn't look digital. Like it looks like they
photo.
They printed it out on a piece of paper and then put it in front of a animatronic baby's face, and we're like, look, a baby.
It also kind of looks like bad, like what are we doing right now? The AI, where they do the face swapping stuff. Like early versions of early versions of that. It just looks like kind of bad. Like really, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Ahead of their time, I guess.
Do that. Don't do that.
So we get on. We get a little exposition. Growth rate is unprecedented. And then Jacob steps in and he hands over the baby, and he's a little like, I'm not sure if I should do this. And it's a little weird. And
she also does a thing where the baby touches her face and is like remembering her own birth. And they're like, she's like, what's going on? And Edward's like, oh, that's how she communicates. It's her gift. She's
crazy.
Showing you her first memory of you. And you're like, what?
And that's gonna be important because that's how she can she touches everyone's face and shows them some memory of something, and then that's how they all fall in love with the baby, with the bebe. Infuriating. That's true. And then Jacob's like,
by the way,
just FYI,
it's a wolf thing.
It's a wolf pup thing. Kind of. Yeah,
it's not what you think. And she's like, what? And then she like Uncle Phil, Jazzy Jeff tosses him out of the house. And I was like, that's so funny. Whoa!
You gotta go on, get, and throws him out. And she starts beating on him, and Edward's just smiling. He's like, this is great. Yeah. All the other Wolfman Peppers like, should we stop her? And he's like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, he's like, it's probably fine.
Yeah. And then I love how he says, oh god, this dialogue is so terrible.
It's so bad.
He calls Renesmee Nessie. And Bella snaps and is like, you nickname my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster? What?
And then I'm dying laughing at this scene, and then she tosses the youngest wolf pup and seriously injures them, and you're like, oh my god. Why did you hurt that child?
And then I feel like everyone's like, whoa, time out, someone's getting hurt. It's like, time out. And she's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's like backyard wrestling when we were kids. You're like,
yeah.
Whoa,
all right. Someone's getting hurt. Time out. Oh man, I'm hurt. Time out. Oh my god. So Jacob is full on protector of Nessie Renesmee there. And he's like, but this is destiny. This has happened for a reason. All this, you and Eddie and everything here, this is all for a reason. So
yeah. He's like, remember when you really wanted to be near me? It wasn't you, it was the baby. And they're like, oh, well, that's a convenient way to explain all of this.
But I love how he's like, this all happened for a reason, but not really, because nothing matters.
No, that's right.
Nothing matters in the end. So
that's right. And he is forced to stay an eternal child because of being around vampires all the time.
Yeah, we get some Professor X mind reading stuff at the end that just kind of blows everything out of the water, so it doesn't matter. So
yep, that's right.
So we're at home at night. The gang shows up, and we got a key. Yep. They're like, hey, Alice shows up. She's like, here's a key. Cool. And they go for a walk in the woods because that's where the movie is. Surprise, you got a place of your own.
To surprise you for your birthday. She's like, I stopped aging 3 days ago.
Right. Settle down. Yeah. Alice is like, I only got paid $2 million for this. I should have got paid $4 million.
Yep. So the cabin in the woods.
Cabin in the woods. Oh, how great would this been if this turned into Cabin in the Woods?
Awesome.
Yeah. Damn it. They check it out. They make out some zoom fast cut stuff going on. They get it on. It's magical. Yep. So
they could have done that last Doctor Strange movie where they turned it into a horror movie.
Yeah.
That would have been fun. Subvert the expectations of the franchise. Nope.
Yep. Nope. Garbage.
But yeah, they bang. That's the whole point. and again, the dialogue is like, and here's our room. And she's like, but vampires don't sleep. And he's like, it's not intended for sleep.
Jesus.
You're like, God, I hate this.
Jesus. My next book is just going to be some, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to dive in. I'll come up with a pen name or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just make some smut for teenagers, and that's that's all they want.
That's all I got to do.
Because the next scene, it's afterwards, and she's like, wow, you really were holding back all this time.
Oh my God.
And you're like, gross, stop it.
So we're back at the family, the Vampire HQ here.
Yeah, I was like, man, wow, done already?
Yeah.
I was like, stop it. Stop the dialogue.
Time out.
I'm hurt.
So then I feel like there was a sale at Old Navy for gray outfits because everyone's wearing gray. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a Pacific Northwest thing maybe, but
yeah, I guess so.
And then someone's phone ring and everyone's like, whoa, we get close-up shots of everyone's face and we're like, what is that? That's a phone ringing? I was like, who's calling? Is Alice or who was calling?
Charlie.
Oh,
the dad.
That's right.
So he's been calling 5 times a day every day for the last 3 days. And
right.
And none of you have answered the phone. What?
Come on, man, a courtesy call. So
also, bonus fast fact: apparently, Stephanie Meyer was really upset about the casting of the movie, which I didn't know, or the whole franchise originally. She was really mad about who they cast for things. Originally wanted Charlie to be played by Vince Vaughn or John C. Reilly. Or there's
Stephanie.
one other on the list. But
Stephanie.
What?
Stephanie, you got lucky. Just You know, stay off Twitter. Keep your mouth shut. You got lucky. Just count your lucky
Can you
stars.
imagine?
You imagine John
Can you imagine
Reilly.
Vince Vaughn in this movie or John C. Reilly as the dad?
Stephanie,
Daphne, baby.
you barely know how to write a book. Don't start casting people. You just got really, really lucky.
It probably would have improved the movie, of course.
God.
Anyway,
so
Charlie's calling.
But they're like, hey, we got to disappear, right? Because they're like, oh, because Bella is technically dead, or everyone thinks Bella's dead. So
They're like, we got to tell him you didn't make it. He needs to be allowed to mourn. And like, we have to run away now so that people don't see Bella. And like, we'll be back because we always come back. But,
but you know, 100 years from now. Yeah. And Jacob is like, well, you're leaving when you leave. You can't be leaving. They're like, hey, we got no other choice, man. This is what we got to do. So
yeah. And he's like, I'll see about that. So then they do, like, the only person who can make riding a motorcycle look uncool is Taylor Lautner.
Oh my God. He makes riding a train look uncool too.
And listeners, as we all know, trains are cool.
Trains are cool because they don't have seatbelts.
That's right. Great transportation. No seatbelts, no security.
No rules.
Yeah, no rules. You can bring as many drugs as you want on trains.
Yep. Oh my God.
But anyway, so he rolls up and like a nerd to Charlie's house.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, Bella, totally fine.
This
Don't worry
whole
about it.
situation was so
You're like, what? And he's like, however, there's something you need to see first. In order for Bella had to change. And then he starts stripping.
Chuck is like, dude, you're a kid. Put your clothes back on. He's like, you gotta see this.
Again, the dialogue is literally, Jacob, put your clothes on.
Not only
is he a whole 20 minutes for shirtless Taylor Lautner in this movie, which is an improvement over the last movies where it was like 5 minutes.
And then it was for the entire movie too. So
that's right.
They're getting creatively aging. Dad's a little school. Then he changes into a wolf. But you imagine that being like, I gotta take off my clothes. Son, you're a minor. I'm a cop. This is not a good look. And you're in my property. Can you just put your clothes back on, son?
And he was like doing it really aggressively too. Like, well, do I have to get my gun?
I will shoot you.
I'm a cop.
I have no problems. I will shoot you. Anyways, he changes to wolf. Dad's scared, and he's like, "What the hell?" So then we cut to back to the Vampire HQ, and Bella and Eddie.
Yeah. And Jacob's like, by the way, Charlie's going to be here in about 10 minutes.
Told him
what?
Told him everything, man. And it's a classic, like, well, if they know, that puts him in danger. It's a classic. If they know my secret identity, they're going to go after my loved ones.
Yeah.
Yada, danger. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, actually. This whole part doesn't matter.
Nope. So then they cut to inside. And they're like coaching Bella on how to be human, which you're like.
Again?
It was 3 days ago that she was a person. Yeah. I think she might remember how to be a person.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got to like blink every, like 3 times a minute, move your shoulders like you're breathing, slouch a little bit.
Because humans don't sit like that.
What? Oh what? And I was like, wait, if Jacob told Charlie that she had to change and stuff anyway, like why does it matter if she acts human? Like,
it doesn't matter. He's not going to notice anyways. Like,
right.
So then Dad shows up. Or someone smells it. Oh, Dad's here, and he shows up, and then the dialogue is so bad, like
so bad. You don't turn into an animal too, do you?
Oh my God!
I love how he's got like a weird Pacific Northwest Southern accent the whole time. That's a continuation of the whole series.
But. Yeah, drinking some water down there. You don't turn animal too, and Jacob's like, she wishes she was that awesome. Like.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, let's give them some privacy.
Yeah. It's like, what? Dude, you just got naked in my backyard. Can you not touch me? You're still a minor. Everyone here is still like 17, 18 years old. Get out of here.
Yeah. It is like the Twilight curse, I feel like, could be, again, because the books are so long that they do this in almost every movie where they just accelerate through the awkwardness and like like the scenes that are supposed to be long are not, and then the ones that are supposed to be short are like dragged out a little bit weirdly, but they're like everything moves so quick.
Yeah.
Like, okay, on to the next thing.
It's choppy. It's really choppy is what it is.
Yeah. So they do
and Bella talk, and we get the old like classic like, I can't tell you, but just trust that I'm good. You got to trust me. It's a classic. I'm telling you, like, I can't tell you the truth, but I'm telling you what I can, which is I can't tell you anything more.
Yep.
That old fashioned line.
All right.
Okay. They hug. Sad moment. Missed you. Okay.
And then they're like, "Oh, look at the CGI baby monster."
Like, look at our baby. We're like, "What the that?" Pulls out his gun and shoots it.
Yeah. He's like, "Who's that? Your niece?" You're like, what? No, she was pregnant. You remembered the last movie when she was pregnant.
I love how they like the one shot of like the baby's face and Kristen Stewart's face like right next to each other, and he's like, "Oh, she has your eyes," and it's like, that's a nightmare baby. What is
Monster eyes?
Monster eyes? Like terrifying. Oh my god! And then Dad leaves.
So they're like he's like playing along with the imaginary cover story. They're like, "No, this is our daughter," and he's like, "Oh right, the adoption." Wink,
wink, wink. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this. Like,
you guys are on that TV show Teen Pregnancy, right? 16 and it got a baby or whatever it is. That's where we are.
Like, we're going to get to it a little bit later, but like thinking back now to this scene and then thinking ahead slightly to the Christmas decorating, like what does the girlfriend think? Like, she's not clued into this. I mean, she must be, obviously.
Oh,
Charlie's girlfriend.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, they never explain that.
Nah, I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She's just there to make it seem like there's a home.
Yeah.
Keep Chuck off the sauce. I saw my daughter's friends get naked. He turned into a wolf. He's just getting drunk at night. My daughter's got a scary. I told her her baby was breathtaking.
Off and on the wagon here. I don't really know what's going on anymore.
So after all this, when we cut to some strongman competition, like
we do feats of strength. That's right. It's Festivus, almost Festivus.
It's like you said. It's like really choppy and like just there. And it's like just you can get rid of this. Cut this whole scene. We already know she's strong. Got it.
We were doing the airing of grievances a minute ago. Now we're doing feats of strength.
And she's like they cue in the music, and she's doing like a arm wrestling competition with the big guy, and like
bum.
Yeah. She beats him. Then she just starts punching rocks. I'm like, what are you doing? What is happening? Everyone's like, yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Like, what?
Yeah. And then they start. This is when it really starts. All of the Bella narrating, which they do a lot more the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
She's like, my time as a human was over, but I never felt more alive. I was born to be a vampire. Like,
no, you weren't.
What?
No, you weren't.
No one was.
No one was. No, you weren't. God damn it.
And then again, like you said, awkward transitions everywhere. They're like, all right, well, Jacob's in the garage now.
Working on his motorcycle. And it's kind of like a weird montagey thing here, right? He's working on his motorcycle and his older brother comes in and they like make up or something. I don't.
Uncle Dad?
Uncle Dad? I don't remember. Uncle Dad brother?
Yeah, it's definitely not his older brother. I think it's an Uncle Dad situation.
Uncle Dad situation? Yeah, whatever. They make up. They're like, whatever. Things are cool, I guess. Like, whatever.
But yeah, you're right. Like this whole movie, and that's kind of what I was getting at before too. Like, because the book's so long, I think they just skip over lots of stuff. So like,
yeah,
the movie feels like 3 or 4 long montages.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
The whole movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's this and then fight.
So then we do like CGI monster baby turning into a CGI monster child.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Speaking of montage.
And then she's still going on with the voiceover though. She's like, oh yeah, everything was falling into place, even the Volturi, whatever, accepting her status.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Yeah.
And she's like, time was our only enemy. What?
God. Like
she's growing too fast. And you're like, okay.
It's like the most cliche line ever to write.
Yeah.
Our only enemy is time. Yeah. Oh shit.
Take a bullet for you, babe.
Oh my gosh, she's growing too fast. So then we're Snowwoods, Nemesis there, Nessie. She's catching some snowflakes with her mouth. Blah, blah, blah.
And Edward's like, I think we'll find the answers we need in Brazil. You're like, what?
No, you won't. Trust me.
He's like, I think there's some tribes there that we can go talk to. Which, like,
I don't think so. I played Max Payne 3. You don't find any answers on that. Different part of Brazil. So then we surround the woods are hanging out, and we get a zoom in on Maggie Grace's face. She's just hanging out. She's the cousin or something like that, right?
Irina, the cousin, yeah.
And she's
from
like,
Alaska.
She's like miles away on a rock, just watching them, and she's like, And she's all freaked out because she sees the baby. And then she's like disgusted and concerned. And she just takes off. And Bella sees her and she's like, hey.
Yeah. Well, because she sees the child fly into the sky to get a snowflake, which you're like, what? Like, since when can she fly?
By the way, snowflakes come to you. It's called gravity, you moron. Stupid kid.
Kids are stupid, yeah.
So dumb. Have a little patience.
But yeah, so she runs away and then swims away. Like Bella like follows her to a cliff and is like sees like the ocean. And you're like, oh, I guess she's swimming to Italy from Seattle. The long way.
The scenic route.
Yeah. You're like, well, is she going up around the Arctic or is she going down in the Panama Canal?
Great question. Who knows? So terrible. So we're back at the Vampire HQ, and then everyone's like, oh, why didn't she just come by and say, hey, whatever, blah, 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 family stuff. She's like, she'll come around. Don't worry about it. And then Eddie starts playing the piano.
Piano time. for like 2 minutes. Like, why?
And like he's playing like the theme music, and it like runs into the theme music that runs into the next scene. Like
it's like a caricature of itself.
It really is. It really is. It really is.
You're like, we have to make the schlockiest vampire movie possible. I know.
You know, that's what it is. If once you put in that perspective, it's just like schlocky vampire, like, whatever. This is campy and stupid.
Yeah.
But the kids love it. And we cut to Italy. It's all the stuff from the trailer, right? That's and then right. Maggie Ray's basically ratting on the Cullens. She's like, Dave committed a crime. And
yep. She's a tattler.
Yeah, and we got our boy there, Michael Sheen / Volturi boss, big boss. He does a little hand touch. He does a little hand touch, and he's like, "Oh my!"
He's like, what? What? He does a funny Michael Sheen voice like the whole movie too. Which
the laugh later on. It's so good. I was like, "What was that? Why did you do that?"
I don't know.
Anyway, so she tattles, and then we're back at the vampire home. Still pianoing. Still, Eddie's still being a pianist.
Yeah. And then Alice walks in, and she's like, has a
stuff from the trailer, right?
Yeah. She has a vision of the Italian invasion, and she's like,
the Great Italian Invasion.
That's right.
Not like not like the British invasion the first time or the second time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Terrible both times.
Yes.
And then she breaks a glass or like a vase. I don't even remember. It's a vase.
Yeah, it's from the trailer. Yeah, and then and
everyone's like, "Oh my god, she broke something. She has really good reflexes and can see the future.
Yeah.
She never breaks things."
So who's the guy who zips up next to her? He's like a brother or
Jasper?
boyfriend?
No, lover, boyfriend.
Okay. I was like, I thought it was like a weird kind of like they're siblings.
They're all like a sex family thing. Yeah.
It's kind of a little weird.
Manson-y, yeah.
Very Utah-y, maybe very Mormonish kind of vibe going on there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good reading.
Yeah. As we started to pull the wool of the behind the themes of these books, actually.
Yeah, I was going Charlie Manson, but you're totally right.
Yeah, this is a Mormon thing.
More Mormon than Manson.
Yeah, definitely. Hearts there, both of them, but yeah.
Yeah, parts of both.
Column A, column B. Mm-hmm. So they're coming, and I was like, what does it matter? It doesn't matter.
Yep.
But
they do a bunch of exposition. Yeah, they're like, oh, they think Renesmee is an immortal child, and like, let me tell you about immortal children. He's like, a tantrum could destroy a whole village, and did frequently. You're like, wait, what?
And you do like a flashback to like this village where that happens, and this kid.
The 1800s or something.
There's like a pile of bodies, and this kid turns around with like blood around his mouth. I was like, that's fun.
Yeah. And Carlisle's like, well, the children couldn't protect the secret of the vampires, so they had to be destroyed. Like, wait, what? And then this is actually my favorite scene of the movie.
This is like the best 2 seconds of film ever captured.
So they are talking about punishing the mother for creating this monster, and the child has to be punished.
This is all from the trailer up to this point. So
yeah, and these are the cousins, but in case you didn't,
yes, yeah.
Okay. From the Alaskan cousins, and so they're watching, and then they pop the mom's head right off, which the first of many. It
was arms. It was like as if she had like Velcroed on arms, and they just like pull those off, and she's still screaming. They pop her head off like it's Velcro.
Yeah. Like so funny, and then light her on fire, and then
quick cut
literally chuck the baby in the fire.
Dakota Fanning's character is holding the baby and just goes like this. Ha!
It's so funny.
It felt like the whole thing felt like a scene of like a slapstick like comedy, like a Leslie Nielsen, like a airplane or something like that. Like they cut and how fast it went was so goofy. And her face was like, ha, and just threw the kid into the fire.
The first time I saw that movie, I think I had to pause it because I was laughing so hard I couldn't hear the rest of it. Like I was just like, what? Why would they toss the baby in the fire like that?
Oh my god. So weird.
So then they like cut back and they're like they're all just kind of like, wait a second, but she's not an immortal child. Why don't we just explain ourselves? And they're like, nah, they won't listen. And they're like, okay. All right. Well, guess we got to gather the witnesses then.
Yeah, like, well, let's fight and convince them, whatever. And they're like, oh, all right, let's get a plan together. Love it when a plan comes together. And they start packing their bags. Like, we're going on a trip. Like, why don't you swim there? Why can't you swim there?
Right? Like, what's her face just did at Rena, yeah.
And then we get a letter though from who's
Alice and Jasper. They left early. They abandoned the family, right? And so I was like, wait a second.
Oh yeah,
we needed them most right now, and they're
this
like,
stuff cuts so stupidly.
Well, see ya.
Yeah, I totally forgot that's what happened. Okay.
Yep. So everyone's like, why didn't they stay? And she's like, I don't know. She didn't say. And I'm like, okay, well, let's travel the world and gather as many witnesses as we can. And
that's because you have to eliminate the character who could end the story, basically. Like you have to get her out of here, right? Because Alice could be like, oh, I can see everything that's going to play out. So you have to get rid of that character just so everyone else can go through their own little thing here. Otherwise, she'd be like, yeah, we just do this and it'll be fine.
Yeah, they explain it away later, and they're like, "Oh no," because she was going to be the most powerful X-Men that they capture. And you're like, "Oh, okay." So she wanted to not put herself in the ability to be captured.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That checks out. Stupid. All right. So we get some landscape transition shots. Mountains, very beautiful. We get some driving.
Gorgeous.
It's a nice Volvo ad. Volvo in the snow. Yeah.
Can you imagine the drive from Washington State up through Alaska?
That's gotta be beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Brought to you by Travel.
Just tourism. The tip of Canada.
Just the tip.
Yep.
Yeah. What a treat. So then we're at the old Navy family house, and they all come out.
Sorry, but speaking of Volvo, this episode sponsored by Volvo. But also, Thais said in the books they do that also, and they're like explicitly Volvos always.
Are they really
in the book? Yeah, yes.
Why?
Why would you call it that detail? I don't know, but it's so funny.
I mean, I guess I can see like calling out a vehicle to.
But it's always about Volvo, and like Volvos are a big deal.
Like if it was like a really like a piece of shit car, or a really nice car to show character stuff, but like it's just
like a medium high end,
like family kind of highest safety rating, like
Swedish, right?
Swedish. Yeah.
Why?
I wonder if like there's a lot of Volvos in Utah.
Probably. I don't know. I like a nice Volvo.
Bet Poncho's got one.
Yeah, my first car was a Volvo station wagon.
Gotta have it. Gotta do it. Oh my god! All right, so we're visiting the old Davy family here, cousins of people, right?
Yep.
Family's like, yo, what's up? And then Bella's like, hey, Ness, time to meet the family.
I like Edward's like, I need you to be open-minded. They're all like, what?
Are we doing some type of family swinging thing here? What are we doing?
Yeah, we already do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I love in the car they like do like a little back and forth with Jacob and Bella and the baby child, where she's like,
monster.
All right, time to meet some new people. She's like, what if they don't like me? And you're like, of course they won't like you. You're a monster.
You're absolutely terrifying. I mean, you're breathtaking. Don't worry about it. So the kid cop comes out, and one of the family was like, get that thing out of here.
Yeah, she's a crime. Like, yes, that's what we've all been saying.
The CG face, right? Look at that. That's a crime.
It's a crime. And Edward's like, no, it's totally cool. She has blood. And they're all like, what?
Yeah. The CG's not that bad. It's 2012. Like, no, Ed, that's bad. That's real bad. Bad decision making.
Yeah, and he's like, well, we're all under a death sentence here because your sister wouldn't let us explain that she has blood.
She has blood.
What?
And then they got like a quick little fight thing going on here. We learned that one of these old Navy girls has electric powers, which is kind of important later on. It keeps coming up later on. But how is it? It's impossible that she could be born, and blah 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 blah. She's cool, and then she goes. The little girl comes up, touches her face, and she's like, "I've seen the light."
She's not immortal.
She's not. Like, okay, thank God. Hey, you know what else is not immortal?
No.
Part one. Yeah, this won't live on forever.
ITMT lives forever.
Yes, it will. In the hearts of millions of listeners. So
hearts and minds. Yeah,
I think we're gonna cut it off for part one. We got a lot of stuff going on here. We got this CGI monster baby. They're just bringing around, showing off to all the family members, and they're all like, and all the family members are like, yeah, your baby's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, she's totally got blood.
Yeah, totally fine. She won't kill everyone. Ugh. We got cousins ratting on family members. We got all sorts of family drama going on here. And the Voltaria coming. So
can't wait.
That's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with part 2 of Breaking Dawn Part 2. So wouldn't be the first.
It's always fun to write.
Yeah. Part 2.
When I'm posting those episodes.
Yeah.
Part two.
Did I get enough part 2s in there? Anytime you follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. Subscribe where you listen to podcasts and set us auto download. And if you like the show, this thing that we do here, tell a friend.
Or tell a stranger on the internet. You're allowed to do that. Write a review. Apple, Spotify, wherever you can do that. 5 stars would be nice. Maybe a little comment. Or if you want to give us feedback, tell us how we're doing. Tell us something we forgot. If you're a big Twilight fan, that's okay. We still like you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Tell us why we're bad. It's justmeetsthat@gmail.com. You can do that in email. We'll read it in Trailer Trash. Or go to the website where you can find all the old episodes, all the other Twilight episodes. There's 6 other Twilight episodes.
New Moon, Breaking Dawn Part 1. Complete the box set. That's a badge, by the way. If you watch all the Twilight, listen to all the Twilight episodes, you get a Twilight badge. So
that's right. The badging, the ITMT badging system.
That's right. Gamifying listening to us. 2025.
We're keeping that going.
Yes, it's real.
Good. Yeah, you can definitely find no information about that on the website, but you can find all the episodes, link to our merch, buy a shirt. That is the best way to support the podcast.
Yeah.
Information about the show, like the characters that we feature occasionally and sometimes forget.
I think we're going to have some of our characters on in 2025.
I think you're right.
I think we've talked to everyone else that works here at ITMT Corp Lab Studios now, I think. Inc. And we want to get some of them on because we want you, the listeners, to hear, from them. So
that's right. You hear a lot from us.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people that run this show. A lot.
That's right.
It's a whole team.
A peek behind the curtain.
We'll bring special guests on for, So
yeah, I like that idea. There's no information about Russ's book Host on the website, but we talked about it at the top. We'll talk about it at the bottom. Go buy it.
For tops and bottoms here.
That's right. Pretty cheap as far as books go.
Yeah, real cheap.
A bargain at any price.
Heck yeah.
But all of that, it's thismeetsthat.com. Check it out.